you could be a singer, because I know you can sing.
Really?
You could.
Really?
Yeah. And you're in where?
Nashville.
You're in Nashville. The best singers in the world come here.
Well, I'll tell you, last night I sang at the Tin Roof.
Oh, the Tin
On
Roof.
Broadway.
Yeah, I know the Tin Roof, sure.
But my goal is the Grand Ole Opry.
That's going to be tough, I'm going to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you got to be like an amazing, yeah, you got to be like a superstar. You're fantastic and beautiful. And God bless you, darling.
When I get to Nashville, I'm gonna make the rounds. I'll do a show on Music Row or Tootsie's Orchid Lounge. I'll get booked at the Bluebird.
Vicki, how did you get us into the Bluebird?
I know it's so hard to get in here. Well, I met Gordon Kennedy.
Right.
At the Little Brick Theater, and you know he's the guy who wrote the song
Change the world. Change the world.
Eric Clapton sings
We always
it.
forget.
Yeah, he was playing the guitar right next to me. Yeah, he got us in. And then, thank you, Gordon Kennedy!
Woo!
And he's so talented. I'm gonna try to get him in my show right now.
I can change the world. I would be the sunlight in your universe. You would think our love was really something good, baby. If I could change the world.
Says the world is in a state of entropy. That's a fancy word for broken, you see. It's a broken world, baby.
Be a country star when I get to Nashville. When I get to Nashville, I'm gonna make a splash. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Steph Curse! Woohoo! So I met Steph. He's nice enough to come on my little show. I met him in a movie, and he was the lead, the romantic lead with Maddy. What's her last name?
Curlew.
Curley.
Yeah, Curlew.
And Maddy Curley, yeah. And she was a gymnast. Me and her had handstand contest. Anyway, I played his mother-in-law.
What is marriage material?
Let me get back to you on that.
Well, you finally made it to Palm Beach.
When a man is that good looking, it's basically wired into his DNA not to commit to one single woman.
I thought this was history, Ryan.
I don't use that anymore. I'll check into rehab. If that's what you want, I'll do it to prove it to you.
Drug addict is not on our list of marriage material.
And I am seriously trying to build a layer of fat to protect myself from being used as a sex object.
I'm so excited. We've never gotten anything from Tiffany's before. I married for love once, and I can't make that mistake again. A guy from his background does not bring a gift like this if he's not serious. So what diet was she on?
Nervous breakdown.
Mom, is it Stu that you're in love with?
I admit it. I love Stu.
But he's not marriage material.
I don't care. I accept your proposal.
Proposal?
I'm holding out for something. I need a rich man.
I'm broke. I'm in debt. It's expensive to be rich.
I pretend I'm at Donald Trump's house. Upper class.
We are strong, independent women. We do not let men have that kind of power over us.
You need to let her go, you know.
I'm not letting her go.
I'm way more than a perfect angelic face and a hot body.
I know.
Have you talked to Jeremy lately?
Yeah, we've been seeing each other off and on.
Push the on button.
Okay, I will. We'll have babies together, and I'll be whatever comes after Octomom, Ninamom.
Then we did a duet together on a stage, and you produced it, and I love that video. I hear singing, but there's no one there.
I hear singing and
there's no one there. I smell blossoms and the trees are bare. All day long I seem to walk on air. I wonder why. I wonder why. I keep tossing in my sleep at night. And what's more, I've lost my appetite. Stars that used to twinkle in the skies are twinkling in my eyes. I wonder why.
You don't need analyzing. It is not so surprising that you feel very strange but nice. Your heart goes pitter-patter. I know just what's the matter because I've been there once or twice. Put your head on my shoulder. You need someone who's older. Rub down with a velvet glove. There is nothing you can take to relieve that pleasant ache. You're not sick, you're just enough. You
I
don't
hear
need
singing and there's no
analyzing. It's
one
not so
there.
surprising.
I smell
Feel very
blossoms
strange
and the
but
trees are bare.
nice.
All day long I seem to
I
walk
know
on
just
air.
what's the
I
matter
wonder why.
because I've been
I
there once or
wonder why.
twice.
I keep tossing in my sleep at night. And what's more, I lost my appetite. Stars that used to twinkle in the sky are twinkling in my eyes. I wonder why. I don't need analyzing. It is not so surprising that I feel very strange but nice. My heart goes pitter-patter. You know just what's the matter because you've been there once or twice. Put my head on your shoulders. I need someone who's older. Rub down with a velvet glove. There's nothing I can take to relieve that pleasant ache. I'm not sick, I'm just in
See you next gig, Ryan. Good show.
Okay.
So then, since then, you've been doing like all these videos and movies, and so tell me what you're doing now. Besides that, you're newlywed, and I have to show this picture of you on a white horse with your Russian bride.
Russian bride, right?
Is she a mail order bride?
No, she's been here since the age of 11, so she's been in California. It was just amazing how we met because you know I have this anti-bullying program, right? That's called
He has a French accent. He doesn't hear it, but
I have this anti-bullying program. Yeah.
Anti-bullying.
Bullying, yes. And then so I was invited once at a fundraiser for an organization that rescues women from sex trafficking. And then it was one of those, you know, dinner gala. And my friend who works really involved in the sex trafficking and try to rescue women invited me to this place. And she says, I have somebody I would like for you to meet. And that's how it happened. And then the person that she was supposed to introduce me to never showed up. So, and then this lady named Natasha was also a volunteer, and because she teaches finances for the women who have been rescued and to kind of bring them back to you know, the normal life. And so she was a speaker, and then we met after, and it was like almost instant. I mean, and that's how we met. So.
Does Natasha speak Russian still?
Yeah, she does, and I'm learning a little bit. I mean, her mom speaks Russian, but like you said, you know, everybody in the States is from somewhere, right? So, I mean, we're all immigrant from somewhere. So I see your husband in the back.
He's getting ready for work.
Yeah, I'm glad he was wearing something.
Me too.
So, but anyway, so we all come from, you know, like I said, like you said, my roots are French, so that's the first language, the first native language. Although my grandma was American, she was from New York. You know, my great grandparents were from New York. Actually.
Does she talk like this, like a New Yorker?
Oh, I don't remember.
Hey, Steph.
Yes.
What's the name of the anti-trafficking organization if people want to help it?
Harbour Hope, Harbour, Hope. And my friend, who actually is the CEO of this organization, is the one who introduced me to my wife, Natasha.
Oh, I'm gonna put the website up right here.
Okay, great. She would love that, because they do an incredible job. You know, it's all about basically. I mean, I'm really involved in that field because I just did a film where I played a lawyer in a movie about sex trafficking, and the movie is called "Don't Say My Name," and it's really it's talking about the aftermath of what happens to these victims once they've been trafficked and rescued. So I don't play a good guy in that movie, though. I just want to let you know right away, you're not going to like me in this. I'm one of those sleazy lawyer.
It happens faster than I can imagine.
Why, the wrong is but the wrong in the world.
Did you traffic and sexually abuse children?
They would kill me and my mother.
I have sacrificed my life for this job.
The point is, we wanted the story to be out, you know, to show that it's an epidemic like bullying is. And I believe that it starts at that level. You know, I think people that have been bullied have a lower self-esteem, and they're more prone and susceptible to be trafficked eventually.
You're a famous singer. You got an Emmy and everything. And I'm wondering, what makes you do all of these good deed things? Like, your heart is always like trying to do something good for others. Where does that passion come from?
It's interesting that you mentioned this, because even though I grew up in the church, so to speak, I was sort of what we can call in a religious box, where guilt and don't do's are the main course on the menu, right? So, and I was passionate about doing work in the entertainment field. So you can imagine the internal conflict, right? And so, and also in church, you know, I would see people act a certain way on Sunday and be completely different the rest of the week. And so it kind of brings a mentality that's kind of confusing. So for me, I found God outside of the church. It's just, I always say that. And a lot of pastors don't like to hear it, but that's my truth. And so there was a time when I got huge success, and we released a first album in Canada, and it went platinum. We sold lots of albums. I think we had hundreds of thousands of CDs sold, and then it was like so big. But I was so green. I knew nothing about the music industry. I knew nothing about the business. Period. I just wanted to sing and perform for people. And it didn't take long with that religious box that I was in that I sort of brought to myself, you know, the fear of success. So it led me to lose everything very shortly, where I ended up living in my car, where you live right now in Nashville, Tennessee. And that's the moment, ironically, where I found God, where I got more an intimate relationship with Christ. And it happened at the moment when I decided to open the Bible and read for myself what it had to say. And so when I understood that, when I read the part, for instance, when I felt guilty about whatever, or the don't do's and all the things that the religious box kind of bring upon you, when I felt guilty and I read that I was made righteous through Christ, then it was right there a conflict. If I'm made righteous to Christ, so why am I guilty? Right? So, and then also the thing is, I was passionate about the entertainment, and in the religious box that I grew up in, it was perceived as a sin, so to speak, right? And then when I read that God gives us gifts and abilities, different gifts and different abilities in order to serve His purpose, then all of a sudden my passion made a lot of sense, because I could serve Him through whatever I do, right? It doesn't have to be, so to speak, in a certain box. And I know you probably wrestle with that too, being a Christian.
Yeah.
But understanding this, the more I got closer to the words, the more I found freedom from that religious box I grew up in. And it just made me develop more of an intimate relationship with Christ. And when you do this, then you understand that it's never been about us. It's never been about you. You just become a vessel, and you come alive really doing what you're called to do, if that makes any sense. So for me, I'm drawn to certain things that I know I can make a difference. As a kid, I was bullied because I was very skinny and I was very introverted. And then our home was a foster home for mentally challenged kids for some 20 years. So imagine the name calling at school. So all that I could relate, and I wanted to do something. And but what got me really, really anchored in helping in that field is that when I realized that now it's becoming the highest cause of suicide for children under 14. So there's a major rub of identity. And I think a lot of it happens through social media. And so even though I was bullied as a kid, you were bullied back then by 2 or 3 guys, and that's the end of it. Home was a safe place. Well, today, the bullying happens mostly online. And so that means when they take their phone or their apps back home, it follows them home. So home is no longer a safe place. And parents are busier than they were when I was a kid. Both parents now usually work. And so a kid is left on its own way more than when I was a kid. Less boundaries, and so to speak. And so that's causing them to, we knew a child, the frontal part of the brain seems identical to an adult, but yet it's not really fully formed. It can't reason. It's making decision out of emotional decision. It's impulsive. And so when they're left on their own, right? So when they're left on their own, they don't know how, they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
I think my brain is like that. I think it's still in the immature stage that is based on emotions. Now, so go ahead. So Steph, you go into schools, and what do you say to the kids to fix this? They let you go into schools.
Yeah, so when I talk about the bullying is about, because the issue is low self-esteem. So I'm really interested in reminding them, when you open the book again, the scripture says in Psalm 139:14, I am awesomely, wonderfully made. And King David ends up by saying, and this I know well. So I started studying more of the scientific approach of how the body is made. So then that would open the door to get into school. So not under any kind of religious pretend, but rather more in a scientific approach to show the complexity of the human body. And so that way it opens a door, and it's allowing me to talk to the kids and to the teachers at a level that they can understand. For instance, you're going to be blown away by this. The largest computer in the world is called the Japan K. It's about big, like my home, but 3 times bigger. And this is the largest computer in the world, and it takes 40 minutes for that computer to record 1 second of your brain's activity.
Wow.
Can you repeat this?
Wow.
I know, right? So, and we talk about the complexity of the eyes. There are no cameras in the world that can have that instant focus. So because our eyes are able to perceive over 1 million messages per second, sending these messages at 300 miles per hour to your brain giving you an instant focus of what you're looking at. No cameras can do this. So when you talk about that, about the complexity of the human body, it sort of make you feel like, wow, you know, if you could say, I have something so incredible inside of me that no matter what happens outside, it cannot influence the inside unless I allow it. So that's basically what this organization, that's what we do. It's called Why I Count. And the Y spells with a Y, and it's .org. So check it out. But we do that. Of course, we're doing a lot of schools, but now with this pandemic, we're going to try to do the program online. So we're developing the program so we could reach out to the kids online.
Awesome. So I'm going to put the website and I'm going to show the video, the awesome video, which is very happy. It makes you very happy.
Are you guys ready?
Stop trying to bring me down. Don't you know that I'm found? I'm a child of God. So don't be judging me from my choice, robbing me from my joy. It ain't right. Please don't take it personal. It's just not optional. I'm declaring it's time to be free. No more feeling of sadness. Filled up with gladness. Ain't wasting time. Cause life is beautiful and I feel awesome. Makes me wanna shout and say I am beautiful. Life is awesome. And I wanna celebrate. I feel awesome.
So I also want to show the video you made for the COVID in honor of all of the health workers.
Yes, and you're in it.
I was like, I'm not a singer, Steph. Just don't use my voice. Just show my mouth moving. Because like I only sing comedy songs. When I sing hymns to the Lord, they're not. In private, it's okay, but.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
So, Steph, what else do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about how you make me laugh, because you always bring a smile. The other day, just looking at you, you know, it just brings a little smile.
You mean when I do this?
Yeah, when you do this, like today, you dressed yourself as a Russian doll, right?
I was thinking about your wife.
I figured you were.
No, I don't make my husband laugh, unfortunately. I'll have to work on that. He knows all of my jokes already.
Okay.
I'm pretty tough on him. So you are an expert in health, and you intimidate me because your knowledge of of health is so vast, and I always feel guilty around you. Like, for instance, this is not allowed in Steph world. Oh, no. That's why he looks so good, and he won't even let me eat vitamins unless they're the right brand. And
Well,
this, tell him how you went into this health journey, and you're an expert.
well, if I intimidate you, then I don't do a good job. So I always say to people this, though. It is, and I really believe this, it's not what you're eating that is the problem. It's what's in the food that you're eating that you have no clue. Because food is no longer God-made, so to speak. We're not genetically modified. Food is more man-made. So there are a lot of byproducts in there that are added, and preservatives, and really fake. It's fake food, right, so to speak. So it's really not what you're eating, is what's in the food. And once you understand that the food companies, they thrive on selling their products. So there's a lot of additive that makes you addicted to the product, where you want it because there's an addiction created with this. And I see that the corporation just wants to make more money, and I understand that. Which is greed, maybe, so to speak, but we're here to make money, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But we need to also educate ourselves, because our body is a temple of Christ. And God says that people will perish due to lack of knowledge. Mm-hmm. Not because knowledge is not available, it's because they don't want to hear about it, right? So that's really written. I'm not making this up, right? So, and the sad part is that because of all the addictive agent that's in the food, we tend to develop a relationship with substance and food more than ever. And so we look for that instead of looking for freedom of it, And so I believe the real danger is the relationship we develop with food that becomes a problem.
It's a comfort instead of God.
Yeah, you see that. So in order for us to really understand this, there's no other way but to have to study, because I believe that once you're educated about something, then you know the aftermath of it. There's no way somebody in the right mind will do it. But a lot of things is that we don't know.
For example, I got a vitamin water.
Yeah.
And it's like, what could be wrong with this? It's water and it's vitamins. And then you're like, read the label. And fructose, tell everyone what's so bad about fructose.
Well, most fructose is genetically modified, right? So it's more addictive. Actually, in rat studies, high corn syrup is more addictive than cocaine for rats. So imagine the relationship you develop with that, so to speak, right? Mm-hmm. And so if you crave that thing that you're drinking, is because there's something in there that makes you crave it. Mm. And that's where the danger is, but you can slowly eliminate things. It's not to go drastically. Change happens in a long time. For me, it was a drastic change only because I lost my father when he was 52 from an autoimmune disease. And so I wanted to keep him alive, because my dad, I got to know him more as he got sick. And because I didn't like my dad as a kid, but I got to like him when I got to know him. And so I wanted to keep him alive. And I think that God used that passion in order for me to investigate a little bit more about food and how to keep him alive. And he still died, but we were able to prolong his life by 7 years just by changing his diet.
Wow.
So and there's a lot of stuff that we're bombarded and we're not aware. So if we're not aware, I read something interesting this week. The Vietnam War was won because in Vietnam they were hidden underground, and they were hidden in places. The enemy, right, was well hidden, and all of a sudden when they came in, it surprised our army, right? So it was a hidden army. That's why they won. And I think the enemy of the world has done that through food, through substance, through making people believe that there's no Satan anymore. And that's how the battle has been won, because it made us unaware of the danger of it. So it's up to us to really say, hey, you know what? There's a real spiritual warfare. And it's about not just your soul and mind, it's about the body, because God says it's mind, body, and soul. So it didn't say mind and soul. It says the body is included in there, right? So I always believe that if the enemy can't attack the mind of a Christian because he's rooted in Christ, then he will try to weaken the body through any ways he can.
Steph, you're amazing. You're so inspiring, and you're speaking truth. It's very powerful. Well, I'm going to wrap it up because all of the YouTube things have to be short. But I'm going to show all of your stuff in this interview. And what's your website? StephKarst.com?
StephKarst.com, and they could find me on all the social media. And now we have a show on PUREFLIX that's called My Shining Hour Story. And so I'm very excited about this because it's a show. It's funny, I was performing in Vegas. It was in 2013, and I was just tired of doing the same thing. And at that time, I said, God, I want to do something for you. I'm tired of being, sort of speak, a Christian in a closet where I apologize for being a Christian, right? So I wanted to be a bit more bold about my faith. And I said, I'm going to produce a television special. In fact, actually, it's still on my screensaver, that statement that I wrote in 2013. I'll show it to you. But bottom line is, I said, I'm going to do a show that will be heard everywhere. And you know, it was a bold statement, Victoria. Yeah. And I thought it was going to take me 3 to 6 months to produce, and it took me 3.5 years to produce. But finally, it got aired on Daystar. Mm-hmm. And now it's on PUREFLIX, and so it's called My Shining Hour Story. So it talks about the struggle and through music, of course, because music is what I do, of the early career and how basically I found my way back to God. Those years I was living in my car, right? So it's an insight. You know, I always think that I hope that it helps those who have maybe lived a similar pattern, you know, where you might have been hurt by the church or hurt by religion. And I always think that I think we need to just open the book and give God a second chance, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was too late for me. Had too many second chances.
Saw me crying in the chapel.
And I had a hard time making peace with my past. At this point, I believed that grace was something I had to earn.
My God, how great thou art!
Let me share with you my story.
Anything you want to leave all of my viewers with?
Well, the greatest miracle was meeting my wife, so I don't know what else to say. And then I know you're going to show the photo with the white horse. I could tell you the funny story with that photo is that I asked God, I said, I want a white horse for this, for my wife. I really wanted a white horse, and we couldn't get a white horse. So I said, God, you can do all things. So I prayed for this, and then finally I called a friend that lived in Ocala, and he said, Steph, I'm going to find you a white horse. And he did, and when came the day of the wedding, the horse arrived. And I have blue eyes. My wife has brown eyes. Yeah. The horse had one brown eye and one blue eye.
Aww.
It's not just God's sense of humor or something, right? So when you think about that, he wants to give us so much when we ask. I think if we don't have, it's because we don't ask. And he's a God of abundance that wants to give his children. That's a good quote.
Yeah, great one to leave on. You totally inspired me to approach my day now with a positive attitude like Steph Karst.
Well, you're positive to begin with. I love you, my friend. I hope we do another movie together. Okay.
I love you.
Love you too. Bye. Bye.
you.